Okay, good evening everyone. How are you feeling? All are excited to learn something today. AI. I want to see some expression actually. Maybe you can type something. Yes, wow, something. I want to know actually. Are you excited to learn something today? New things. I am sure actually. After 9 o'clock, definitely you will get some knowledge, and whatever knowledge you have right now, I'm 100% sure. Right, you will get something different today actually. That's a clear, I'm guarantee. So let's start today, right? So if you see the screen, right? So we are talking about more actually AI, generative AI, machine learning, deep learning. Of course, the people who are using the AI, let's say some form of for that, they don't understand right what is going on, right? Let's say you're using Chat GPT, Gemini, Perplexity, or maybe Cloud Code, or any AI tool, right? Maybe you are using something, you maybe don't know what is internal going on. I want to know about right how many of you here are using at least some of AI tools. Maybe whether your day-to-day activities, are you creating an image, or are you using something office work, or you are doing something from day-to-day activities? Any tools are using? Just let's type here. I want to be interactive. Whenever I will want to tell actually raise your hand. Maybe you can raise your hand and you can talk to me. What tools are you using? What are the tools you are using? Tools means I'm talking what AI tool you are using. Any AI tool, maybe Chat GPT, Gemini, or maybe you are using some of image creation. What tools are you using? What are tool names? Okay, Copilot, very good. Anyone using Chat GPT? I think no one can say right. I'm not using Chat GPT. You can install. I think Chat GPT very easy. Okay, Cloud using very good. Anyone using with the anything? Any Gamma? Do you know what is the Gamma? You can use this one. Very wonderful tool. People who are students or people are using the presentation, right? Using Gamma platform. This is free. You can use your Gmail ID. Of course, you can use some of up to 10 PPT you can prepare. You give the contest and he will prepare a beautiful presentation actually. You take any contest, will go. If you paid one, you will get to more 20, 30, you will go. But this is very free tool. You can use the Gamma tool. Okay, let's deep dive. So let's understand what is actually we are talking about more actually today. AI, generative AI. We'll talk more actually, right? LLMs. We'll talk more actually. What is the LLM going to happen? What are the things here internally happening? We'll go more inside today. Very interesting. Be patient, and whenever you are not getting clarity, just put the chat box, or then you can discuss that one actually. Okay. So I'll switch off the video here because I want to focus on the presentation. So let's see drive here actually. Now let's understand right here actually. If you think the screen here, what you are doing every day around us, right? You see the Netflix. If you search the net, go to Netflix and trying to search one movie, and what you trying to see the recommendation, right? He's showing some of movies actually, and but depend upon your choice, right? He's trying to show the recommendation. That's actually happening in the Netflix. If you see the Google prediction, right? Traffic, Google also showing with actually with the prediction with AI. Sometimes now if you want to filter with your email, what the spam mail, all things you can use with AI, right? And voice assistant nowadays, if you see the voice assistant, you can use also with the voice assistant with AI, right? Now you can go Chat GPT or anywhere you can do the voice assistant with actually with it. We'll go detail, but this is actually some of the use cases you're using. So many use cases, right? We'll go little bit about me. I don't want to. I see some many people are here, so I have already 20 years experience work in the company like Amex, Oracle, CGI. It's almost 20 years. But now with along with my startup, so I'm just giving right some of things to society, right? Learning with AI because this AI era. Let's understand the AI directly. You don't want to fear, right? Okay, if you are hearing an AI, okay, I don't know what is going on. Actually, just a context, right? I'm giving. Definitely, I'm planning to bring in some of trainer where they can teach specific AI, or you're planning some AI course actually in future. That's the key plan actually today, maybe in future. So let's focus on here. You will 5 minutes will focus here. If you see that landscape of AI, right? If you see this total, right? AI is not actually now last today or tomorrow or last 1 year earlier. You are. I remember about my college time, right? I have studied master in computer application. That time I have a fifth semester paper. This AI full book, 75 marks. So you can check, right? 20 years before I have learned also AIs. Not 20 years. I think many years before also AI is going on. But what is the difference right now? It is happening more actually. The tools is coming, right. If you that the bigger umbrella, it's called artificial intelligence. The bigger umbrella, we used robotic, use expert system, and we are using some of things, right. Like if you see that definition, right, AI refer to development of the computer system to perform the task that need to human intelligence. How you are thinking, right? You are trying to do something with AI. This is already there many years, not now actually. Last couple of years the data science came in picture. Like no, if you see 10 years before, 12 years before, right, data science coming in picture, right, in 2000, you can say 2019, around 2000 or before, 1 or 2 years before, right, data science come in picture. There actually you see machine learning more actually. So what is the machine learning do actually? It's part of subset of artificial intelligence, right. Basically he taking the data and manipulating and doing your some calculation and recommend you, right. So kind of programming language, you either recommend a system or spam detection or fraud detection. You use something, you taking that AI, and this is actually second level of AI, and you are taking the data and trying to do some manipulation with programming language. That's called machine learning is coming in picture. We go one more level, recently, right. If you see the nano banana, people are using nano banana or some image creation, right. We went to next level. Where is coming the deep learning? What deep learning? Deep learning is subset of machine learning. You are went inside, so we are going deeper and deeper. If you think that deep learning is a subset of machine learning, right. The artificial neural network with many layers of data processing and pattern learning. So basically, if you remember, right, you go to chat gpt or somewhere, you tell, right, can you identify whether it's a dog or cat? Can you identify this human or wire, right? How are you doing? Basically deep learning basically did. So what he did, you did model, you did so many, input, tried actually many input happen, but all testing happen. They identify, okay, cat have a had 2 years, some mustaq is there, maybe, if you can four legs there, then is a cat, right. So something kind of happening, right. So that's the identify. So image recognition, speech recognition, automation and driving, right, auto drive, Tesla, you right, already happen. Not we are India, of course they are planning, right, but US they should Tesla already running. How they're doing the automated driving, right. They understand, right, okay, driving, they get object, then they have to take left, they got signal, they have to take right, they have to tap left, there is obstacle coming, you have to do side actually, you have to make slow down. All things happening with the deep learning. So already it happening in deep learning. Many years, almost 4 5 years that's happening. Almost I can say 3 to 4 years that deep learning happening. But the now I think that last 1 year onwards, when the chat GPT, Gemini all came, right? People are thinking, wow, that's a different things. That's coming in the generative AIs. That's actually core. So we are going core and core. Yeah, I'm talking right. The generative AI is basically a subset of DL, data deep learning, right? And content creation. Whether you are creating text, whether you are creating image, whether you are creating audio, video, code, that's why a lot of job layup happening. So people used to take, I want to go to printer shop or maybe image creation now. Boss, I need to the creative, can you create a poster for that? Okay, I need to charge 500 rupees or 1000 rupees, I want to create a poster for. Now within chat gpt you are doing within 2 minutes or 1 minute. That's it. So where the image creation people will stay, will go away. Same thing, our developer level, in our software community, we are taking, right, we have taken the code, we are typing, we are taking, our own time, maybe 1 week, 2 week. Now we go to the cloud code, right, giving our co-pilot, right, okay, can you prepare that one? Within 1 or 2 minutes you're getting syntax of that. So how this happening? Because this is generative AI actually. We are giving some input and generating output. So my question here, you can type yes or no, whether chat GPT is same as a Google search. The question here, whether the chat GPT is same as a Google search. Yes or no? Okay, people are saying no. I want to answer actually. No, no, no. Okay, yeah, absolutely. There is no, because what Google search do, right? Google search do searching from web and doing something to you, right? You type something, right? You try to search from web and doing. What is ChatGPT doing? He's not searching. He's creating the content. That's why it's called generative AI. You understand what that's content? He create the content. That's content the part, right? Whether you are talking voice, chat, image, he's creating. He's not getting from the web. That's the different of a chat GPT. So what is the difference you are seeing? Chat GPT, DeepSeek, Plot, or maybe you should Dell EA or Mid Journey. This all image creation and GitHub Copilot using for or day-to-day coding, right? Now the take over, right? Or the cloud code or maybe Copilot you're using. So that are things, right? You are getting generative AIs. So if you see, that's the real impacting in the many industry. If you see automation industry, that's impacting. Recommendation app, actually, if you see right now, Mantra or maybe Flipkart or Amazon, he's showing because your buying pattern. He's recommending you. If you see, try to see any times you go in a website, you try to search only. You don't want to buy. Maybe you're going to flight or to maybe Bangalore to Mumbai, right? You go and search. You are, make my tree want to try to say, okay, your flight is there this time. Why is recommendation happening? Healthcare industry, or automation system, content creation, as I told you, right? The image creation, cyber security, finance side, many any banking sector, education sector is impacting big time. In our time, I'm talking 20 years before, we need to wait for textbooks to come. Nowadays, forget about, right? I want to, let's say I want to be going to second year. I go to Chat GPT. Can you help me? How many people are using notebook LLM? LM, notebook LM. It's a very wonderful product. You at least students can try to use actually. That's a very good tool actually. So that's actually impacting. Let's go drive the second slide, right? So this is typically right whatever we discuss right now. Now this is same things, but the different format, right? If you see AI, AI go to next level, go to machine learning next level go to deep learning next level to go to generative AI, right? That's actually things, right? We're going core and core and core. You are going to closer to nuclear actually. You can say. Now understand this layer. So now, last 1 year onwards, more people are talking, right? Agentic AI. Let's do agentic AI build. What agentic you are building, right? I hope you are hearing. If you are a software side, definitely this is one of that biggest roadblock is coming in agentic AI. Forget about generative AI, chat GPT, that's one level. But when agentic AI is coming, there's a lot of things hotspots happening in industry. So if you see the layer, right, we're going to talk AI, machine learning, deep learning, as I told you, the flow, right? The pillar, the base is AI. Then one more called machine learning. One more go to deep learning. One more go to natural language process. This is very interesting. Human, right? So when you're talking to Chat GPT, he understands the human context, right? Talk and he trying to translate and giving to you actually. So that's called NLP, right? You understand that context. Then you are talking to generative AI. Then you are talking about agentic AI. Agentic AI is a powerful now actually. Lot of things happening with agentic AI. Lot of opening job opening. You can say people are trying to do agentic AI, reducing the workers things, trying to implement the agentic AI. So if you see here this picture, if you understand here, what are agentic you are doing, right? Agentic you are doing auto GPT or the some of thing long chain agent, Crew AI is very famous right now. Crew AI or auto task execution. This is a part of agentic AI there. Okay, and then this already taking chat gpt and all these actually. So NLP, I have didn't discuss, right? NLP basically using the chatbot, the voice bot, right? Sometimes you're getting call, oh, I'm so and so, can you help me, right? You think, right, I'm talking to ABC, but that's actually ultimately this is voice bot. So that's actually voice bot actually. So this is a lot of things, right? We'll go deep by deep now. Now we understand, right? There is so many things happening, but now we are talking about generative AI or agentic AI. But what is the internal things happening? What are things? How this work is happening inside? We're going to discuss that one. Okay. Let's deep dive now. Now, one more things, right? In this is just the context, right? I want to see understand your context because you are going to little bit more inside. Now people are talking, right, to agentic AI, all things, but even now you can see, right, there is something you are using called LLMs, something you're using RAG, something you are using AI agent, something you are using MCP. So what is this term? Let me just lay down, right. When we're talking LLM, all the chat GPT or Google Gemini or whatever you think, right, the brain is LLM. The brain is LLM. So there is a lot of CPU, GPU, server time they consume, data pattern they have tested actually. That's why the LLM they build actually on that. That's LLM, right? So that's why he is generating the text, generating the context, generating the whatever you are asking, he's generating on that actually. Okay. So this LLM. What is the RAG basically? RAG is actually basically retrieval argument generation on that. Maybe anyone want to try to speak something? Okay, otherwise you mute it, please. Okay, RAG basically, right, basically helping, right, retrieval argument generation, right. So basically, let's say I want to ask, right, I will definitely go to some contest. I'm just giving, right. Let's say I'm going to chat GPT, okay, and I'm going to and put in the chat GPT, okay, who is the IPL winner of 2026? What is the answer will come? Can you answer? I'm going to chat GPT or Gemini or whatever actually. I asked, right, who is the winner of the which team is the winner of the IPL 2026? What answer will get? Do you think will answer it get? Yes or no? Or you can go and ask actually, chat GPT. Okay, what is the maybe going to happen tomorrow in India? No answer will come. Why? Answer will not come because ChatGPT or Gemini, they have data, a past data, not future data. So you can predict, give you some answer, which is maybe hallucination, maybe right or not wrong. But we cannot tell right who is the winner because you don't have data, right? Whatever data is there, he will give you. But we already IPL is going on, right? He's not winner, so he will give you a wrong answer. So what I'm trying to say, right? If but same thing, right? If you go to ChatGPT, you will tell you, right, I'm working ABC company. I'll ask you, right, this company, can you tell me my HR policy? I want to take this is a sick leave. How many leaves I have actually? You are working ABC company and you are asking this ChatGPT, I'm working ABC company. Can you give my sick leave? How many leaves I have actually? What answer will give? He don't have information. He don't have ABC company information. How will answer? He will give you answer, but that's a wrong answer. That's called a hallucination, right? So when you give some your company data and trying to ask actually, then that information will come at you correctly. That's called RAG info. We'll go detail. AI agent, right? Something, right? Brain pot hand, right? You want to do something with like Chat GPT, Gemini. Their call are more are called AI agent. More actually you can talk. MCP, right? How you can build a larger application connected with the Zoom, maybe Zoom, Jira, Confluence, some different system that is actually going to that's called North system. So connecting each other, that's called MCP going to talk. You will go detail little bit. Let's understand, right, artificial intelligence. We have only 20 35 minutes. Let's little bit fast actually. Artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? Basically, the system that perform the task require human intelligence, either a speech recognition, either a face recognition, or maybe recommendation or self-driving. All are part of artificial intelligence, which is already happening. Not now, not yesterday's, not last year. Already happened last many years on that. That's called artificial intelligence, right? When you're talking about machine learning, right? What is the machine learning happening? Basically, if machine learning, we're giving some rules and data. Okay, rules and this is data. Can you give the output? This is my pattern and this is my data. Can you give the output? That's called machine learning happen, right? So basically, this is a traditional way of if you do machine learning, right? We are giving it. Okay, if you A is coming, the answer is B, X. If C is coming, answer is D. If XY is coming, answer is X. So you are giving some pattern and you are trying to do model. Let's say you are giving your salary slip to you are giving salary slip information to preparing your programming language. You are telling I'm getting every month, every year 5% or 2% hike. What maybe I'm after 10 year I'm going to hike actually. If you're getting 2% hike my current base salary, what is my 10-year actually hike should be happen? So that is actually data and answer, and you are asking the model to roll actually. That's called machine learning. You have some predefined actually. There is a different type of machine learning, right? So either go to supervised learning and model learn from the level, right? You are giving some example and that basis that is the learning happening. That's called supervised. Somebody there. Unsupervised learning, right? Model discover the pattern. So model trying to discover, you are depend upon different algorithm, different pattern you are putting. That's why model is learning. Unsupervised, that's called actually, that's also one more learning. That's called unsupervised learning. What is a reinforcement learning? Let's say you are getting some input and answer is coming wrong. You are saying, oh, no, this is a wrong answer, can you give some correct answer? Maybe I'm not getting right answer. So that way, see, right, model is learning actually. See, internally, whatever chat gpt or gemini, somewhere that llm, the model should be, you have to train somewhere, right? What you are not doing, you are an end user using, but the developer taking long year, they try to model train. That's why getting some of accuracy answer actually getting. So that's actually three way you can do the type of machine learning actually. Supervised learning, unsupervised learning, or reinforcement learning actually, where actually trial and error, right? So we have to, if you are giving some correct answer, yeah, that's good. If you are not getting, like now you are using chess, right? Chess also kind of trial and error, right? Sometimes the way I play, the way you play different, right? The movement different, so how we learning? So chess will also, the AI will going to learn from that PC, right? He can answer on that. So let's go to the one more called deep learning, right? So we have to understand machine learning. Now let's, we are going to one more, okay, deep learning. Deep learning uses the neural network within multiple layers. So here input is one, but the hidden layer, right, is so many layers of giving input, different input, different parameters, all things combination, and we're expecting the output actually. So learn the complex pattern, automatically extract the feature, work well with image, speech, and so not you are waiting only I'm giving text. You are giving text, you are giving voice, you are giving image, you are giving some pdf and document, but finally some a lot of calculation you are asking, right? Can you give the output actually? So that way, see, right, deep learning happening. You are giving so many input, not like, you are going to. You can think about this is a complex work he's doing, and then you are finally getting the end result on that. Let's go to basically how the traditional machine learning and deep learning, they're different actually here. Deep learning is a neural network happening. Traditional only machine learning is using only. That's actually difference only, nothing. Let's think about, right, why generative AI is coming. Now we are understand deep learning. We're going one more level where the chat GPT, all things use, right? Why generative AI matter? AI become a fundamental foundational technologies, and developer across the industry are integrating with generative AI. Now new tools, framework, models are emerging rapidly. So understanding the fundamental is now essential. So now you have to understand, right, why I'm going to use generative AI, because there is reason behind that. What is the reason? Because now you are using either chatbot, or you're using language translation, or a sentimental analysis. What is sentimental analysis? I can understand the human context, right? Whether you are angry, whether you're sad, whether you're happy, I can understand your things, right? Only human can understand, right? Whether a chat GPT, a Gemini, they're all are AI, right? There is no, we will talk about, right, called the sensible AI or human AI, right? But they are not understand. So you have to, nowadays they are doing more NLP, understand the sentiment analysis of that. Now document summarization. You go Copilot and you go to any chat GPT. You are putting a document. Let's say I have 10 page or 15 page or 20 page document. I have to go through and I have to summarize what is happened, right? What I'll do right now, I have to take 1 hour, 2 hour time and I have to read and then I'll answer it. Go to chat GPT or any AI agent, right? Put the document. Of course, the document going to, if you're the privacy, make sure that is not going to be. But if you're okay, you can put the document. You tell, can you summarize within 5 to 10 lines? Your time done within 5 minutes. You don't worry about 2 or 3 or 4 hours. That's actually the way you can do. The document summarize happen. You are saving your almost 2 3 hours. So that's actually happening with the document summarization. What exactly generative AI do? I already told, right? That's doing check text generation or image generation or code generation or audio generation. Whether you're using Chat GPT, Mid Journey, Copilot, all things is part of generative AI. This is very popular things, right? Of course, Chat GPT is very popular now, but people who are Microsoft heavy, they're using Copilots. They're using that. The most important part here, whether you're the chat gpt, Gemini, or whatever, right, the most important part, what you need to talk actually. That's called prompt engineering, right? Prompt. If you are not giving right prompt, definitely you will struggle. You will not get right answer. So, for example, right? Let's say I want to ask you go to ChatGPT, explain the machine learning to a beginner. I'm asking plain vanilla, but what I'm just better prompt should be there. Explain the machine learning to a beginner using the simple example. So I am giving some more context. So prompt engineering also very famous right now. Whether you're using ChatGPT or Gemini, right to give a right context actually. If you give right context, maybe 2 3 lines, you should not do too much, right? You should give 2 to 3 and with a prescription. Let's say you are preparing some interview, right? You are saying I'm preparing this interview for the so and so position. Can you give on that area for interview question? So you are telling to ChatGPT I'm preparing, or you are actually already interviewer, or you are can you help me? So at least ChatGPT or Gemini understand, right? I want to give that context actually on that. Or if you go and ask can you give me interview question, you will give which interview question, right? You have to be specific on that. That's a prompt engineering coming in picture actually. Now, the most important part, right? I told you, right? Whether you are Chat GPT, LLM, or Google or and the Cloud Code, whatever the AI tool using, the brain is LLM, the large language model. We are not able to see, but lot of investment, lot of discussion, lot of things going on with LLM. That's actually the CPU, GPU, server, cloud, all things happening here only. So user prompt, let's say you are actually this is actually you think of this is a whole actually chat GPT, right? So the user prompt you go and type that the chat GPT itself is taking, but chat GPT internally calling to LLMs, all things vector happening, embedding happening, token happening, chunk happening. We don't want to confuse here. So think right, this is a brain of LLM, then you're going to response and output again. So we'll discuss about what is the LLM. Let's think about they told the LLM is a brain, like our human. Same thing in all these machines, all the chat GPT, Gemini. LLM is the brain of all the things. Somewhere LLM wrote, somebody wrote and right, read this program, configuration happen, right? Something happen, how what should be happen, what is the logic should happen, all things written. You see, all the wire connection happen, right? So the output actually. So we'll discuss what is the LLM might mean actually. So if you see here, right, I'm just going a little bit more, right? This is a large language model, whether your voice, whether text, whether image, all things go to LLM, and your question answering or sentimental analysis or image captioning or object recognition happening with them. So this LLM is spending more time. The developer, that researcher spending more time actually there. So there's a different LLM there. If you're realist, there's a different LLM. If you're healthcare, there's a different LLM. There is actually general purpose LLM there also, right? Chat GPT is more in general purpose LLM, right? Education is more there. If you're a defense side, more LLM there. So that LLM train, you get base LLM. On that base, you have to train the LLM. Like how we are, let's say you are in India and you want to go and settle in US, right? Your mind sometime will think, okay, you don't think about India, right? You have to settle your mind, you have to train. Okay, no, I'm in India, I'm going to write left only, but if you are going USA and other country, I have to drive only right side, right? So that you have to mind, so you have to train that one. Same thing, right? Same thing in LLM, you have to train, train depend upon your specific domain, you have to train. That will come to at a specific result. So how LLM? Basically, LLM doing summarization, translating, explaining, writing code. That's a part of LLM. So you cannot see, but internally LLM is using for all the Chat GPT or Google Copilot. Internally, LLM is using on that. There is some for information for you. If you are using LLM, if you want to know, in OpenAI is one of the company, right? Where ChatGPT is coming, right? You see that some of models, GPT 4.0, GPT 1 image, text embedding, and then Google led Gemini 2.5, Grok. uh, Grok actually have actually GPT OSS, Hugging Face. There is some of models are available. Of course, for you end user not required, but people who are developer, they require these models, depend upon their requirement on that. How we're talking about LLM, this is brain, but as I told you, right, we need to understand also RAG model, right? What is the RAG? Basically, as I told, right, retrieval augmented generation, right? So basically, you have a user question, and you want to give some context to that directly, and then you are asking the answer. You don't want to give in asking the company, give you, can you give me my company HR policy? You don't have a clue. But if you're giving a company HR document and asking the information, then that information will come in. So a RAG means a retrieval augmented generation, gives LLM to access. So basically, when LLM coming, right, is come to RAG, and then you will give you. Sometimes you will use RAG, sometimes you don't use RAG. That's up to us. That's a clear. But here actually you will get accuracy when you are sending this one. So how RAG will sending? Once a RAG is coming, he is putting chunks, and then you are sending to LLM, and that way the answer is coming. So we will discuss that one in our real class. I don't want to understand. So just want to give you the context, right? What is the RAG mean, right? So basically, if you see this LLM, plain LLM, I have a large model, but when I'm going to USA, I want to give US data to feed it in my mind. Okay, I have to take light. Here is the train. Here is the metro station. I have to follow the rule regulation. All things I have to data put it. That's called LLM pers data, right? So that your data means you're talking the RAG, your information, whether a company HR, policy, medical history. If you're giving information, now you're asking the question, then you get accurate data, grounded answer you will get. Otherwise, you will get a, sometimes, 70, 60% answer will come, not 100% answer will come. So this is actually RAG. Actually, we don't want to. This is exactly as I told, right? Retrieval argument generation. So user question, retriever, relevant chunks, then put into LLM and answer actually. So when you are using RAG, RAG will use it before, then RAG will pass to LLM, and then you will get a grounded answer on that actually. So most of organization I have worked actually, my last organization, we have used RAG actually for our companies, right? For finding some of information for user information, right? We use a RAG model, but to make sure that it should be privacy, and you cannot use any your private data in open source. That's how to make sure on that. Now the question is coming, hallucination, right? That's a very important thing, right? What do you mean by hallucination? Basically, the model invent a research paper, right? Basically, the hallucination occurs when AI produce a confident but incorrect answer, right? So sometimes if you ask ChatGPT, as I told you right before also, you go and ask the ChatGPT, who is the winner of IPL 2020-26? Maybe some get answer, right? But that may be correct or that may be wrong. But ChatGPT giving confidently answer, right? That's called hallucination. You understand what I'm saying, right? That's why, right, in banking and healthcare sector, that's going to big challenge actually, because I don't want to play with the hallucination. There is a case also happen, I don't have time, but if you see, lawyer case with the chat GPT, that you will get a history on that, right? So hallucination means, right, they confidently answer, but answer is wrong. So that's one to avoid in future. So we have to do that one actually on that. So basically, you see, this actually passed, right? This very maybe enterprise level, support level, legal, HR, operation. You have to make sure that this answer is 100% correct actually. Otherwise, you cannot, because you I have one question, right? Tell me, whether you are using AI, chat GPT, any form of AI you're using, what is the com- main important item which is required from AI? What is the main information required? What is the main item? What you call that one? Without that, no AI. What should be there? Any answer? What is the main information? I'm already telling you, right? Information. What is the information? Data. If you don't have data, forget about AI. Because all AI is playing with data only. If because of a data, right, is playing and giving answer. So they have so many data trained, right? That's why you're giving the answer actually. So without data, this is not possible. Of course, accuracy there, but data is important, right? Because without data, how will get accuracy or what? If you don't have data, forget about any data result will come, because that's why, right, generative AI is coming. That's why you're coming, right? RAG will coming, right? If you are giving any information, then you are asking, right? So that's actually part of. So AI without data, nothing. So you need to depend on data only. Now the question is coming, right? Okay, as I told you, right, I have generic model. As I told, right, I got actually generic model of LLM, but I want to go with medical field. I want to go with the maybe defense field. I want to train, right? So that's called fine tuning. The word called fine tuning, right? So we have to tune, right, on specific your domain. on specific, right? You have to tune, you have to give different prompts, you have to give different input, then that fine tuning happening, right? Then the model is going to train on that. That's called fine tuning on that. Now we are all okay, we're all fine, but what is I told, right? You human, so everything human without is not possible, right? So finally human should be dictate, and finally, okay, whether is your answer is correct or not, whether you are able to get a correct or not, that response is correct or not, human to decide, right? That's called actually, that's coming part called responsible AI. So most of healthcare and finance sector, right, they're very serious about, right? Of course they getting data automation very less uh, faster way do, but most of them very sensitive, right? So what are the responsible AI means, right? It should be fairness, right? It should be transparency. There is no bias, right? Now in human, right, we do bias, right, sometimes, right? Okay, no, he's my friend, he's my close buddy, he's my colleague, I can do bias, right? But AI should be that transparency. Privacy should be important. I'm giving some information to AI giving to somebody, so your privacy gone, na? So privacy and security very important. Then accountability and governance, that's actually, depend upon company, depend upon organization, right? You should be there. Then safety and reliability, whenever actually if you giving answer today A, after 10 days I'm asking the same question, you shouldn't think B, you should be A only. So the reliability there, right? The human oversight and control. So basically, right, whatever answer you're giving, but finally judgment, the final input should be human, right? Then societal and environment wellness, right? So you have to use, think about, right, how can I use with the society, how can I use with the wellness. That's the important part there actually. So let's drive actually the second, the last couple of slides. So as I told you, right, generative are using for text generation, image generation, audio, video, code, all things. This already this one, and this actually already discussed a large language model. Now we will discussing about, we have 2 3 slides. We will think we're discussing about, right, your agentic AI, agentic AI. Now we are talking AI agent, right? So what is the AI agent? You can think Chat GPT is AI agent. One task you are doing, but let's say example I'm telling, or you can ask, right, can you give some example of agentic AI and maybe AI agent? Let's say you want to go to airport. You are, let's say you are going to Bangkok, okay, and you booked a airport taxi. You are booking airport taxi is called agentic AI, right? So agentic AI book the taxi, but you are going Bangkok, right? What is the step? First thing, right? You have to, let's say you have to go to Bangalore from one airport. Then of course from Bangalore airport to you have to go somewhere actually, right? So that actually ticket required. So if you see, then from there actually you have to go hotel. Then you have to roam around the site seat. So a lot of steps involved, right? So in agent AI agent, what happened, right? If you are going to, let's say you are booking taxi, if a taxi is cancel. No, I don't want to, or maybe not coming. What is the next step? Then no answer. So human again have to come and do. What agentic AI will do, right? He will do rebook again for you, and again parallelly, trying to do other flight booking or checking also. He trying to do hotel booking also. You think about, right, one agentic AI agent, AI and all things combined with doing all agentic AI. So agentic AI, when we're talking, right, I can do multiple tasks at the same time, right? So I just put actually agentic AI. Somebody booked to taxi for me, somebody booked to air ticket for me, somebody booked to hotel for me, somebody booking for actually agency for me, right? So a lot of things happening with agentic AI. But AI agent, one task actually, right? One, you are doing one thing. If that's not happening, then again you have to try. There is no human thing, right? You cannot do retry again. Maybe try retry if you do some programming. That's actually agentic AI, the LLM tools and loop. So AI agent is system where LLM regions uses the tools after loop to complete a task. Actually, you want to try that one. But let's say I want to do some different task. Again, you have to do one more AI agent, one more AI agent. So combination of thing called agentic AI. Agentic AI, one agentic AI, when you are talking, right, he'll do multiple AI agent on that. Now this is actually one picture I'm putting, right? It's a lot of things happening, right, with MCP server. That's a north system, right? Let's say you're building a agent, how to connect with each other. That's most of the MCP server. Now a couple of things people who are using, right? So let's say generate AI case, use some of for tools, right? For text generation, chat gpt, Claude, Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. For image creation, you can Delhi, Midjourney, or if you code generation, you can GitHub Copilot, or maybe Amazon Code Whisper, right? You can use couple of things, right? So this is actually some of things you're using, but I want to stop here. I want to ask actually, you have anything till now to ask actually? Let's say maybe a couple of things. Let's say take actually you have 5 minutes will go, then you have couple of 3 4 slide. We will complete on that. Anybody have any question? Maybe you can ask chat also. That's fine. No, okay, that's fine. So when you're talking, right, see, lot of things, whether it's chat gpt or gemini, lot of things happening with the any programming language, right? Somebody doing for us. Of course we are not doing, but somebody doing for us, right? So if you see the some of popular programming language, they're using Python or R, and over statistics possibly you're using TensorFlow or PyTorch, right? And then some of things, right? If you see the big data case, right? Apache Spark, Databricks, Hadoop. So some of technology is using behind that actually whatever AI tools on that. This is actually how the LLM work actually. They're doing pattern learning, prompt input, training, then original output will come actually. So we have to do training, pattern, and train, right? Whether you are giving image or text or audio, then that way your model will train and you are getting accuracy of output on that. Some of AI agents, as I told you, right? If you see LAN graph, LAN chain, Crew AI, AutoGen, Llama Index, systematic kernel. These all are AI agent is playing, right? So nowadays more actually people are using AI agent or agentic AI. So this is some of popular AI agents using in market. Maybe you can search some of things, right? I discuss about, right, how the AI skill basically. If you see for prompt engineering, chat gpt, Claude, Gemini, you can use AI workflow. You can see, right, N18 or maybe make or Zapier you can use. For AI agent you can use LangGraph or Crew AI, or you can see AutoGen. RAG model you can see Llama Index or LangChain or VectorDB, right? For fine tuning or customization using Hugging Face or OpenAI or Cohere, right? Multimodal AI, that's more important, right? You are Chat GPT 4.0, Gemini. Then for AI research optimized, it's a Perplexity, right? Perplexity is basically Airtel also giving free, you can use, and then AI search and search for. So a lot of things is placed in place. So you can use some of things. That's actually my point to discuss, right? So if you have any question, you can discuss and you can ask this question, how the session happen, and of course, see, basically my intention to clear the concept about AI foundation, right? Understand, right? When you can hear about AI, machine learning, or deep learning, or NLP, or generative AI. So when you're talking about generative AI, you can think about whatever nowadays you're using the tools, right? Maybe you're using ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, all things part of generative AI. So with content they're generating and giving the output to you. And my suggestion, right, whether you are a developer, whether you are don't know AI, try to use AI some form actually. Because if you don't use AI, you don't know what exactly things you are missing the big time. Uh, because your time will going to save, and first thing, right? Second thing, you will learn from your mistake, right? uh, and then you can some of things, right, you can practice with AI, get content from that AI, right? Maybe you can use notebook LL, where you can try to prepare presentation, as I told you, gamma, right? Go to gamma site, actually you do presentation, right? You can, you need to spend time with your whatever time spent.